Yeah. Uh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barn. Is joining me as two guys that sat through a 2.5 hour rain delay to go back and watch the home team battle against Charlotte FC. Is the best. I mean, not Charlotte FC. God, why did I keep calling them Charlotte FC?
No, that's
Charlotte
your other favorite team.
Independence.
See, you just got Charlotte on your mind.
It works. And that's what happens when you marry a girl from Charlotte. It happens. All that stuff is now Charlotte all around. But hey, guys, how are y'all doing? Are y'all having fun this Sunday-ish evening?
Yeah, it's been a pretty chill day so far. A little tired after last night. Normally I'm not up at 10 watching the Kickers, but
Yeah.
doing all right.
So I'm not gonna lie.
Training for Fuego games.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's how that works. I'm not gonna lie. Like I tried to stay there, but I think it was what was it? It was supposed to start back up around 9 o'clock, and my wife looked at me and was like, "I'm hungry. I'm ready to go home." And I was like, "All right, let's go." I know what. I know y'all went back to the game afterwards when the game actually started back up. How many people was there in the stadium? Like what? 20, 30 people?
I'd say like 50 to 75.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I'd say closer to 50. Yeah, there's a decent amount.
Now, the crowd earlier in the day before the rain delay, I gotta say, man, shout out to the Kickers front office getting that amount of people in the stadium for a home opener. I'd say I know they said it's 6,000. It felt like it was close to 7. The amount of people that was just up on the concourse and the stands and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they stopped counting at 6,000 or what, but it did feel like more than that because I remember, I think it was the season finale last year against Greenville where we had 6,000.
Yeah.
And it felt like more at this game than the Greenville game. Now, granted, that could just be because it's so recent and it was yesterday, but yeah, I mean, tons of people. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's always tough to tell too if you're actually just going back and watching the game. So I was looking a little bit of it on ESPN Plus today to kind of see what things actually looked like on the field and in the stands. It's a little gappy here and there, but there's so many people that are up on the concourse. It's really hard to judge, how full is it just based off of the pictures. But I always kind of try to gauge it based off of like corner flag to corner flag, or before they tore them down, where the big light stands used to
Oh
be
yeah.
and everything. And okay, are they getting filled to there? Are they going beyond that? And it was looking mostly full, from ad banner to ad banner.
Yeah, no, it was like because in certain parts, like I was up in the press box and I looked down at one point and I was like, outside of I think you pointed out that one section where the padded seats are. Outside of that, man, I couldn't really find too many empty like seated bench areas. So that's, I mean, for it to be a home opener, that's a good sign that the Kickers are getting people in there. Now, I will say this, like, I know what Jefferson Cup was in town, and I saw a lot of like kids walking around with like the youth club stuff. So maybe it might go down a little bit more after that. But for it to be a home opener, you get everyone there, man. It was impressive, and always Red Army sounded great. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't take it for granted how special it is to be in Section O on game days because there's nothing like it. It's great being back home.
It's a great soccer atmosphere. I brought some friends who had never come to a Kickers game before, and that are big fans of European soccer, and they loved it. So it's a solid soccer atmosphere we have in Richmond. We're really fortunate.
Yeah, actually, even more than that, just pregame, seeing how many families and groups were just out there tailgating ahead of time.
Oh
I
yeah.
think you start to build that culture up a little bit more. Just have that whole strip at the bottom of the hill, just people hanging out, grilling, doing whatever. Pregame, I think that can be something that can grow and really be able to build and sustain beyond just the those who might come to the game.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. I always love a good tailgate. It's one of the more unique things here in the South when it comes to soccer. It's like we're going to find a way how to tailgate before a game.
I mean, all I saw you doing at the tailgate was trying to make people do shots with you the whole time.
That's my job. That is my job, is to get everyone drunk and have fun. Don't have a fight. But they're shot skis. I mean, hey, you got to partake in this. I did mine too to start the year off, so I feel good. And I heard y'all also kicked the keg, which is a good thing.
Well, when you get tailgate 2.0, it helps.
That is true. So I guess we might as well talk about the game that happened that caused Tailgate 2.0. Richmond falls at the home 2-1 to Charlotte Independence. I know the scoring line says that we lost, but I think if you dive a little bit deeper, I think there are some positives to take away from this game. I mean, a lot of my major questions were slightly answered, such as like, can this team create a goal from open play? Can they, create multiple chances? Can other players outside of Emmy be effective? Yes, but I think there are some problems that are still surfacing or are still there. So we'll dive and talk about those. Where do you guys want to start out from this game? From any point, you guys want to
I
start?
mean, I suppose probably makes since the start of the start of the game lineups and all that, or even the little pregame moment.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, let's talk about lineups, especially. What Akira was not in the lineup again for the second game in a row. We got the news that he became a proud dad, so shouts out to him. So that's why he was not in the game. Will Palmquist got the starting goal again. No Matt Bentley in the lineup, and that was O'Gordon, who deserved to start. I think Darren talked about it in his pregame press conference. I'm trying to figure out how to say that, about how he was challenging certain players to kind of step up to the plate, and some were going to be benched just because he wasn't kind of happy with some of the play. So O'Gordon comes in for Bentley. And I got to say, man, for him to get a goal on the start, he looked dangerous and electric. He did pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like almost anything positive throughout the game, was connected to Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like he did everything he could possibly do to be able to get another start out there. I mean, maybe not Thursday, but certainly 2 weeks against NoCo.
Yeah. No, it definitely does feel that way. Like he took advantage of the opportunity that was given to him. And he played really well. Anything else I'm forgetting about lineup, or was that it?
I mean, those are the only changes, but I think it's two pretty noteworthy ones.
What?
No Akira again and Gordon coming in. Those are pretty
Oh.
two noteworthy changes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I thought I was missing something else. I was like, wait, am I missing something else? But yeah, those are two big noteworthy changes. Now, in terms of how the first half played out, you had a lot of significant moments. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys would agree with me that the intensity in this game between these two teams were very high. Like, there was a couple of moments where it felt like, all right, like we might not walk on this field with 22 players, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely got pretty chippy there in certain moments. I'm sure everybody remembers Carlton Belmar and Charlotte Independence players sliding in at the same time, and Carlton and an assistant coach got in each other's faces there for a moment. So I think it's possible that we've got potentially a new like rivalry in the works here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It do feel like two teams that they do not like each other, and maybe that's just because of the proximity of what playing each other in the span of 3 weeks.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
That'll do it. Yeah,
that will most likely do it. I mean, Matt. You went back and rewatched the game, so I'm trying to make sure I'm right on this. It does feel like Richmond were more positive offensively, but in terms of being more positive offensively, like a lot of the midfield play got left out. Like it just felt like it was very much up and down, like a racetrack kind of game.
I don't know about that. in the first 12 minutes or so, I felt it was fully controlled by the kickers. Some of that was just cycling the ball back through the midfield, back through the defense, but they were really kind of controlling the game a little bit. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte had that in their game plan too, and were perfectly happy to let that happen. Because I feel like the book could be out on some of these Darren type of teams of give them the ball, make break you down rather than let them open you up on the counter. We've seen that for years that it's been an effective tactic. So I feel like it could be a matter of teams course correcting finally and making us mix it up a little bit more. But I mean there was no real threat early on until there was, and that goal. But even leading up to that, creating some positive looks. Hornsby getting up the wing pretty well. Gordon getting some looks up the opposite wing. Felt good right up into the moment that Gordon had his first chance that got saved, and then things turned and they turned quickly.
Yeah. Gabe, we were talking about it before the show about how it seemed like a game of like chances. And it definitely felt like in that moment, like the 12th minute, Gordon has his shot, it gets saved. It was a soft shot. Like I think he should have put definitely more power behind it. But
you don't think he hit it solid?
I think he placed it too close to the keeper. I think it was a good shot. I think he just placed it too close to the keeper.
Okay.
Versus Clay's shot, which the way how I looked at it, like the way how Clay shot, it was the same exact shot as Gordon's, but it just was out of the way of the keeper. Like Will couldn't get a hand to it to save it. Versus Gordon's shot, it was just too close to him.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon had like a fantastic chance. It wasn't placed well. That was the problem. It was struck well. It was hit hard, but it was right in the keeper's purview. But yeah, their goal right afterwards, Will didn't really have a good chance at saving. So yeah, I mean, I felt like the ball just wasn't bouncing our way in that final third, and also we weren't super clinical on like that final pass. I felt like we had a lot of half chances, if that makes sense. We had a ton of half chances that we weren't really able to like make that final pass and get like a really solid chance in front of goal. At the end, I felt like we maybe could have put one or two away, but yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, it does feel like there was a lot of like half chances in this game, like shots that we had, but then a shot player will magically pop out of nowhere, out of the ground, and like block the shot, or we're trying to play the final ball and it would be a bad pass or something like that. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I think Richmond they did okay, but I don't know, man. It just feels like this team is still lacking something in that final third part of like it's like they don't have anyone that can. How can I put this? They don't have anyone in the midfield right now that does the job of Ethan. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte did a really good job of this, where they forced Zaka to be the creator. Where last year, like Ethan could drop in, and he can still do his role, but he can alleviate the pressure around Zaka. Like that forces Zaka to be the sole creator, and that's what Charlotte. It kind of felt like Charlotte put their two midfielders on Suko and Neil. Was like, all right, man, mark them and force everything to Neil. And kind of like we saw the effects of it in the second half, where I think it came like what in the 34th minute, where Zaka makes the bad pass to Sis, and we almost get scored on the open goal.
I mean, that's just him playing a defensive midfielder role and dropping back, between the center backs. I don't think that's anything unique to what we do. That you'll see that like every team, out there, doing that to try to help build out. So I wouldn't consider that creator, necessarily. But at the same time, I think most teams are going to be happy taking their chances, with Zaka on the ball versus Neil Vignals on the ball.
Yeah,
if they can help it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, let me ask you this: first half, second half. We know obviously we had a whole rain delay and everything like that, but do you feel like the weather at all dictated kind of how Darren set this team up? Like, it felt like the first half they were really trying to pump in like a bunch of crosses. They weren't trying to do like the direct long ball, but it was a lot of like crosses and whatnot. Second half, they trying to keep the ball on the ground a little bit more. Your thoughts on that or anything?
I don't think so. I didn't notice anything
Okay.
like that. I mean, the way the stadium's built, when you're actually on the field, you're down, quite a bit. So I don't, yeah, you look up at, the flags and everything, they might be, going, pretty strong, but it's not going to carry, as far down onto the field, the same way. Just, we're with all the different, structural, pieces of the stadium. So because if nothing else, we were playing into the wind in the first half, so you would think you wanted to play on the ground in that case, because otherwise, things would get hung up. But like you were saying, we were throwing crosses. I mean, the goal came directly off of a cross, so I don't think that factored in at all.
It does feel like the. I mean, maybe it's just me. The weather does kind of like play. I don't know. Like the amount of crosses threw me off a lot for Richmond. Did it throw
Why?
any of y'all off? I guess just because I wasn't expecting. Because I'm used to seeing the one like pass from the center back to the wing player. I'm used to seeing that. But a lot of the times I'm used to kind of seeing Richmond either not try to just pump in crosses a lot, because it felt like a lot of crosses they're pumping in, like Charlotte center back would just deal with them easily. And it kind of felt like we weren't
Yeah,
trying to develop
but
it.
even last
But
year when
that's
those
kind of
balls
what
went out, to Bolaños, what was the end result usually?
Well, it was a cross, or he would try
Right.
to go. Well, I'm saying like he would try to dribble the ball into the box, and it would be like a playback across. Like it just felt like we got the ball on the wings, and immediately it would just be like, all right, cross the ball into the box, or like that. It was happening a lot in the second half as well, where like either Neil or Zhao will get the ball like 25, 30 yards out, and he would try to cross the ball in. But I know like at that point with 10 minutes left, you're just trying to get any kind of ball in the box to be somewhat dangerous. So it was just something that just caught my attention. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of interesting to see from this team.
I think one of the things like all of us have to do, and that includes me, is I think we have to start forgetting what last year's team did, because this is not the same team at this point. They have different. There's some of the same players, but they have some different directions, different skill sets, that are out there, and I think it's just going to set us up, anybody who's watching up for frustration, or setting the guys on the field up for failure, to be like, oh well, this guy doesn't do this exact same thing the way the last guy did it, because we're not talking about what the new guys do differently on the plus side.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
We're only
absolutely
looking at
right.
it from the
Yeah.
from the
You're
deficit.
absolutely right.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, for example, like Owain being on the wing, if he continues starting on the wing, I don't know that we've had a guy that fast on the wing before. I mean, he is ridiculously fast out there, and that will, like, if he can continue playing on the wing and continue getting those reps out there and starts, I like where that could go.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think there was two chances. I think Neil like played like a through ball to him on the side, and he completely outran his guy.
He literally, there was one point, I don't know if you saw this, but he lifted his legs in the way that a sprinter lifts their legs in the 100-meter dash. It was wild. Like he is that fast. It's nuts.
Yeah. No, it was good. I mean, Matt, you're right. Like a lot of these guys are new, and the skill sets are a lot different. And I would say I'm oddly impressed with Justin Sukal. Like he did a really good job yesterday. Like watching him yesterday, he did help out a lot of the creation front and a lot of the divvying the ball around. Another Hornsby is an impressive guy as well. Hornsby was impressive as well. God, okay. Whew. Anything else you guys want to talk about for this first half? I mean, outside of the red
there's a little
whistles,
instance of us scoring a goal that you haven't talked about at all yet. Why are you trying to blow by this?
I thought that I talked about it when I was talking about O'Gordon, but I didn't go in depth. So you're right. let's talk about that. So these are one of the crosses that did work, and I'm still trying to figure out the angle of how Gordon scored this, because it seemed like he ran behind his friend and kind of like crouched down and headed the ball into the net.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, going a little bit back to what you were saying just before this, the whole play starts because Hornsby doesn't give up on the ball and is able to save it on the end line and kind of poke it away from the Charlotte defender. So he saves that, gets the ball to Belmar, who has plenty of time and space, and took like what 2 or 3 touches to set himself up and
Yeah,
pick out the cross. And I think being able to watch it on the camera side and then watch it from the stands, you can kind of piece it together pretty well. Because you can see, they're worried about Emmy in the middle right there. They are concerned about him, and there's like 2 guys keeping watch, which they've done their homework. They've watched the last 3 years, kickers games. They get the assignment there. But Gordon kind of clips in from the back post, and he's able to get himself in front of the defender that's supposed to be on him, and Belmar is able to pick him out, and at that point he gets his head on the ball 6 yards from goal, and all he has to do is not hit it right at the keeper, and it's a goal, and mission achieved.
Yeah, it's a fantastic goal for him and one that he really deserves. Going back to the pregame press conference, Darren was hinting at like, some guys are chomping at the bits. Like some guys are ready to start and ready to go. Like, and I mean, Gordon took advantage of his opportunity. Definitely. Going into the second half, kind of felt the same way. Like it felt like a replay of the first half, like where Richmond was creating chances, Charlotte was okay sitting back, and then you had the whole bust up happen in the 60th minute, where what was it? It was like a 50-50 ball. Ballmer goes in, probably the rougher of the two, gets the yellow card. Charlotte's assistant coach is trying to bait Belmar to get a red, and this is just me. It kind of felt like at that moment, Richmond heads wasn't all the way focused on the free kick. They were still kind of caught in that moment, and Charlotte took advantage of it with the free kick. How do you guys think about that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a bummer because the way I viewed that play was both players went down.
Mm-hmm.
Belmar went down a half second after the Charlotte player went down, and I agree with the call that it was a foul, like that Charlotte deserved the free kick, but yeah, it's just unfortunate the way it played out, and I feel like I could probably see how maybe they lost their heads in the moment and just lost their focus, because I feel like our center backs, I feel very confident in Dakota and Nathan in defending free kicks like that, particularly, and I there's not been, at least to my knowledge so far this year, like a free kick or a corner kick where I've been worried about a goal scoring opportunity for the opposing team, and that this was really their the first chance for them and to score on a free kick or whatever. But anyway, it's just an unfortunate situation, and the ball bounced their way is the way I view it.
Yeah, it kind of feels that same way. Matt, any thoughts or anything on that, my man?
I'm a little, I think, less forgiving on that one. Like, foul's a foul; it happens. Whatever. You should be able to defend a free kick coming from the sideline 40 yards away, and it's a good free kick, and they really are able to put it on somebody's head. Okay, that happens every now and then. That's not what this free kick was, though. Free kick. Free kick should not be falling to somebody's feet. Right there to be able to kick, and that should be something that's cut out. That should be something that's taken care of by whichever kickers player is there and available. Because it's a team effort on defense at that point. We all know that there's strikers back defending. There's midfielders. There's everyone all over the place, just matched up size wise for the most part. So that part, I think it's something that needs to be looked at, because Make them earn it. Don't let it be easy on them.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, what? This is our. I think what. I mean, we only played 3 games so far, so this is the first time we've landed multiple goals. But
Any
I will
goals?
say this: talking about this new team, I do like the resiliency in this team because I think not a year has passed or anything like that, but I think a lot of teams you put them in that moment, you give up a cheap goal like that, you're down 2-1, you probably lose the whole plot, and you know you probably go down even worse. Now, granted, we got lucky. Charlotte had another chance late in the game on a breakaway, but I mean, Richmond still fought. They tried to create chances. Days didn't come off. It happens. There's no positive way how to try to put a spin on it or anything like that. It's just you didn't execute well enough. But I would still like to think that there are still some positive takeaway in it, even though things didn't go the way how we wanted them to finish the game out. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, even when they went down early in the game, I was never worried that the game's over at that point. I had full belief that they were going to score, somewhere along the way. So yeah, annoying to be down 1-0, but whatever.
Yeah.
Right then, and the goal came. With the second one, thought there was a chance, that they would be able to pull it back, but I mean they got to be crisper, in the final third. Like, what did Austin Pack really have to do in the second half,
Yeah, no.
right?
Yeah, nothing.
Like, because I mean there's two big chances that I can pick out from the second half. The first one, when I think it was a combination like Zhao and Neil and Luke are kind of playing the ball and on the right side of the field, and it opens up for I think it was Neil be able to play Luke in, and he just takes an absolutely horrific touch. Like
Yeah.
dude was all alone 8 yards from goal to either take a shot or cross it right across the face of goal, and it bounces right off his foot and goes out of bounds. I mean, I know we like the guy, but that was bad,
Yeah,
and that's
no.
not good. That's not going to help his cause to get more minutes.
No, you're right. I mean, I think we should take some time to really talk about it, dive into this, and that'd be overly negative with it, but I think it's something you can pull apart and look at, like the final third execution in this team. The first 3 games, how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? Like,
4 maybe.
okay,
I'd also say 4.5, maybe
yeah,
5, because we have scored twice. So I'm not going to
In
give it
3
a 2 or
games.
3. Yeah, it's true. It's early, but again, I'm gonna lean on the gracious side.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like
I mean,
4.5. Well, I mean, if you're Darren and you're looking at it, what double-digit crosses, what 16 shots on
not all
goal.
shots. Come on now, not all shots are equal. We know
Yo,
this.
no. I know that, but I was saying they had like what 5 on goal, but like you said, Matt, they had maybe out of that 5, they probably had 3 that really caused Pack to really like scramble.
We
You
had
know,
3 on target.
and we had 3. Okay, so 3 out of that 3, what maybe 2? I mean, he's scared Pack, so I'll change the
Yeah.
numbers. On the flip side of that, William Parquis, man, like for him to come back into the second game because the Akira's definitely didn't start because he just had his beautiful baby and whatnot. How was his performance? I feel like he did really well. Neither of the goals were his fault, really. And he had what I think 2 or 3 big saves. I know he definitely had one he saved from Gabrielle that he shot from outside the box, and he had another one, oddly enough, from Gabrielle that was closer up in the first half. But how was his performance to y'all?
I mean, I don't think Akira's got to worry about anything. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
he's fine. I mean, he's not Akira with his feet. That is very, very
yeah,
clear. I mean, there was one. What was it? I think I can't remember if it was early in the second half or if it was after the rain delay, where Dakota plays the ball back to him and he ends up having to kick it out for a corner.
oh yeah, I remember that
I'm
one.
like, come on, dude, that can't be happening.
The dog agrees with you. He agrees
Yeah.
that.
That's right.
And
That's my dog Guinness.
I mean, he had there's a couple of saves. I don't know why the league's hyping up the long distance save. I felt like that was a much easier save than the one from the giveaway later on. I mean, I know it doesn't look as spectacular because he's not diving as much, but I felt the other one was kind of the quick get down foot save was far more impressive.
I agree with you. I think the foot save is a little bit more. I guess just because of the quote unquote degree of difficulty, like I like the long distance save looks better. Like
It looks better, but I don't think it's actually harder. The other one, you have more time to see it and react to it.
From the stands, that long distance save that Will made looked pretty incredible because Obertan or whoever the Charlotte player was that got a hold of that it was a rocket off his foot from the stands anyway. It looked like that.
Yeah, I mean, just with Obertan too. I mean, you can, he kind of flamed out from there, but you can see like the difference in like a Premier League pedigree versus college. Like a lot of our guys.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Obertan, like
he was
his
dangerous.
body is like his shoulders are like hella broad. Like
he was dangerous, man, all game long.
Oh, he just looked like a man out there
against literal children.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to. I mean, I think Will played well. I think he played as well as I don't know his pedigree super well. I know that he was a third string guy for New Mexico United. Came here to Richmond, got the start against NC Fusion, played great against them. So I think this might be potentially his longest string of starts at a professional level. I could be wrong. I don't know. Someone would have.
Oh, definitely is. Yeah.
So
I think it's his only string of starts at a professional level so far.
Yeah. So I mean, if we're judging just based off that, I felt pretty good about it. Yeah, I feel safe with him back there. I definitely am looking forward to Akira coming back just for the ability to distribution, playing from his feet. But Will, I feel good about Will's shot stopping ability. I'll say that.
So,
what are you thinking then, Elliot? You're not getting out. You're not getting off the hook here without putting your opinion.
Oh no, I'm not. I like the point that Games has made about like what you lose in Will's playing out of the back with his feet and whatnot. You kind of gain that in crosses and getting the ball more there. I'm assuming Will is taller than Akira, right? So you gain maybe 2 or 3 more inches and like going off and grab those balls and crosses, shot saving ability. I really like from him. But yeah, like playing with his feet is not his strong suit. Like I don't think it's something that I don't know if it's something he's hella comfortable with, and I don't know if it's something that if he plays more games, he'll get more comfortable with it. And also you're doing that against a team like Charlotte, who loves to just press everybody up front, and you got to be super crisp with your passes. I mean, I feel comfortable with him back there. If I see him start, it may be for the rest of the year. What he's done 2 games so far. If I see him with another 5, it wouldn't be cause concern for me. Like if Akira goes down with an injury, we call Will in. Like I feel comfortable with him being back there. Like I feel like he can do the job. I do think you have to adjust things. Like if all right, playing with his feet is not something that is his strong suit, and it can lead to potential, chances and whatnot, or kind of get stuck in just having the ball back there. But yeah, like Darren gonna have to adjust that. Like you can't do it just for life with Akira. But yeah, I probably say he was one of the best performers on the field outside of him, O'Gordon, Sukal. I feel good with him back there. Yeah.
I also have a personal. I like Will a lot. We met at the Meet the Team event for season ticket holders, and my wife is from New Mexico, so we talked about green chili. He's a cool guy. He's a really good dude. He's a really good dude.
I know he's a big Denver sports fan as well. I know he loves the Nuggets and Broncos and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was kind of giving some riff last year about how Russell Wilson was not the best quarterback in the NFL last year.
Russell Wilson is cringeworthy.
Any other thoughts on this game, y'all? Before we go on to like our top 3 performers and such.
What did you think Neil got fouled there at the top of the box, 75th minute?
I do.
Yeah, so do I.
I do.
From my view, I thought he did.
Yeah. And I don't know if the ref thought that, all right, the player got enough of the ball, I'm not going to call it. Like, I wonder if it was that foul, like, if that foul happens inside. Because the foul happened inside the box, so right on top of the line. I'm trying to
It was like 20 yards out. It was like, in the D area.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if that foul happens inside the box and the ref is like, all right, I'm calling it. Versus it happened right outside. He's like,
I think he's much more likely to call it outside the box than inside. Refs usually don't want to give penalties if they can help it. It feels like, but they don't mind giving free kicks from outside.
Yeah. Now, if there's anyone that I trust taking that free kick, is Neil. Other thing too, on a corner, I forgot which corner it was. He almost scored an Olympico. Like, he came very close.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the exact minute, but I remember it might have been. It happened right after we scored. I remember after they scored. I remember that. But yeah, Neil came close. Matt, I'll turn it over to you for the top 3, sir.
I was going to ask one other question for you guys. How are y'all feeling about Darren's kind of sub patterns so far?
I think it's a lot of trying to embed guys in and get them comfortable with the speed of games. But I also I think it's a lot of trying to get guys comfortable with games. Like, I think it's trying to get Jao up to speed. I think it's trying to get O'Dwyer up to speed. I think it's trying to get like other guys comfortable with doing certain roles of the field. So later in the year, then if they got to start games or if they need to come in, they can just play it. I don't think there's a real pattern to his subs or anything like that. Like, I don't think there's any impact sub like how they're in terms of how they were last year. Like, you're not bringing Gordon off the bench to be that impact sub. We're bringing as much as I love Luke. Luke's not providing you much as a striker spot. Like, he's the busybody out there. Like, he's crazy chaos. But if you ask him to provide a goal, Luke Pavone shouldn't be your first option.
So let me maybe ask this a little more directly then. Matt Bentley's sitting there on the bench. We're down a goal for half an hour. He goes to Luke first and he has 2 subs he doesn't use again this week. He has another sub opportunity to be able to use him, including after a long break, and still doesn't go to Bentley at all.
Yeah, I don't know if he's saving Bentley for the U.S. Open Cup game. He's just like, all right, you're going to start there. I don't know. But definitely, yeah, you should have brought Bentley off the bench there.
I would have liked to have seen Bentley a little bit earlier, maybe 65th, 70th minute if we're still being down 2-1. And to be honest, I think I would have liked to have seen him over Luke in that spot. But I don't hate the Luke sub either because Luke is quick, he's fast, he can attack the wing. But I do think I would have preferred Bentley.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is just, this is 3 games now where he's only used 3 subs, right?
Well, I think it's just bench depth. I think it's bench quality. I mean,
they haven't been the same subs each game though, because the first game he went with what Zhao, Gordon, and someone else I can't remember right now, and then it was a completely different group. For game 2 when he brought Chandler in, he brought Luke in, and he brought Jake in.
Luke was first one.
We were also defending a lead in the second game.
Well, right. So, but I mean that goes to me saying like it's not a matter of necessary bench quality because he's used 6 or 7 different guys off the bench.
That's true. Yeah.
So he's to some degree willing to use them. But it's a situational sort of things. Like we talked about this last year with the in the playoff game. All right, crap, we go down. You have Ani on the bench. Why not just throw him up there? Put him in, throw. See if you can hit his head or something. Like same sort of thing. You throw Chandler in there. He's huge. Maybe pull Zaka for him when you're chasing late. See if something can happen there. Just try to mix something up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong in it. I mean, also like Emmy didn't offer you much.
Yeah, maybe go Bentley for Emmy even.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Bentley coming in for Emmy in like the 70th minute
Yeah.
if Emmy's not getting into
Yeah.
spots or getting on the ball very much. I'd like to see Bentley get on the ball.
I mean, that's the other big thing to consider at this point in the season. I mean, there's 3 games now where how many real opportunities has Emmy had?
I think 0.
No. Yeah, no.
Exactly. Exactly. Like his best look this year was the almost assist he had to Gordon if Gordon had finished in the 12th minute.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Emmy will be fine when we can get the ball into the final third with more clinical passing, because he does really well to get into good positions.
Agree. Just we're getting to the point of it starting to be come a pattern of where's the service. How
Yeah.
are we going to best be able to involve a guy who when you get him the ball in the right spot is the best player in the league.
For sure.
I mean, also we're playing against 2 teams. What Greenville that is notorious for marking Emmy out of games, and Charlotte kind of took that same blueprint. It was just like, all right, we're gonna put 2 center backs on Emmy and just be like everyone else is kind of on the island 1-on-1. So I
Sure.
mean, it's kind of on the other guys around him. Like as much as Neil got to make better passes in the final third. Suka's got to be a little bit more better as a creator. Bentley, not Bentley, Belmar and Gordon, when they get these 1-on-1 opportunities, they have to take advantage of those opportunities, get the ball into the
I
box.
think we can throw Bentley in there too. He started the
Yeah.
last 2 games, and I mean it's the same conversation. So
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's immune from the question.
Yeah, nah. But I mean, if Emmy isn't offering you nothing, yeah, definitely. Come off. Have this seat. We're gonna throw someone else in there that can try to create something.
Yep.
I think that's just more so just like the nuance of what you do, but once again, like it's still a small window because you've only played 3 games against 2 teams.
Of course.
Yeah.
You haven't seen us against like, you know, Lexington or against Fuego or against, other teams. So we
Right.
still got a long part of the season to go.
And to kind of relate to that point, because I saw what's his name? I can't remember. League One Fun. Yeah, Jason. Just chirping at you all about Noco. And I really just want to just reply back. It's 2 or 3 games in the season. Remember when everybody thought Fuego was going to run the league last year because they started hot and they ended up being absolute garbage.
Oh yeah, and also like everyone revised their picks. We found out that Para had testicular cancer, and they were like, ah. And plus, we don't know what's going on with Tormenta. Like Tormenta does not look right at all. But
I think they look like they normally do, and the fluke was the 1.5 months at the end of last year.
Yeah, true.
I think also we started last year 1-1-1,
Yeah.
and we got hot in June.
Right.
We got hot in June. I mean, I think it's the first 2 months of the season, it's for development.
Right.
It's for like sorting everything out. It's I think when June, July come, we'll see who we truly are in June.
Yeah. Well, look, you're right, Gabe. Give it, like we say, give it a 10-game period.
Yeah.
We'll do our evaluation there to see where the team's going to go from there. But right now, it should be any talk about panic button or this team isn't that. And Matt, definitely to your point about we got to get last year's team out of our head. That was a romantic. We loved it. It was great. But this team is not that team. And things are different. Players are different. And we got to give these guys a chance. And so far, like if you take the individual moments of Sukal, Hornsby, Belmar, they've been fantastic. They've been great. But
yeah, and
it's okay to push them to that next
one
level.
of the outcomes could be that once this team had to click, they could be better.
Right.
So doesn't that just be that we're not going to be as good? I mean, it could be that they take it up a level from even what we saw last year.
Right. Most definitely. So Matt, I'll pass it on to you now to do our top 3, sir.
Yeah. So we another game, another set of top 3s. Why don't we start off with first bit of the season? Gabe, you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
What do you got?
Oh, you want me to go first? Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll say Will Palmquist is getting my 3. A couple of solid shot stops. He was fantastic stopping shots yesterday. I'm gonna say Gordon with my 2. He was the most dangerous. he seemed the most dangerous to me. And I'll go Hornsby with 1.
All right. Up next. So my 3, I would give to Gordon. Did a fantastic job out there on the right wing. Scored a nice goal. Created a couple of other chances. I still laugh at the yellow card he got at the end because you could just tell like he's just throwing any body part he can at the ball. He just throws his hand. It's kind of
We
funny.
don't have VAR here. It's actually possible it could work.
Yeah, it can work. If we have VAR, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of red cards in this game. 2 points, I will give it to Willie Palms. That's what I'm calling from now on because he had a couple of nice saves. He did really well. I think this is 2 weeks in a row. I gave him points.
Yeah, you put him on there last week. I can't remember where.
And my 1 point, I will give to Hornsby. He did really fantastic. Did a nice job on that left side. I really like the creation and some of the balls that are coming from him.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that that was just him gassing out, and there's nothing actually wrong with him when he had to get subbed out around like 70 or so.
Oh yeah, I hope not either.
Yeah, because would not be great news if that happened.
No, I wouldn't.
All right, for me, I'm going Owain. At the top, literally anything good that happened in that game, he was involved with in one way or another, whether creating or finishing. When that happens and there's actually goal or goals at the end of it, you're probably going to get the 3 points. Well, our 3 points, maybe not the more important 3 points, but 2, I went with Belmar. I thought he had a strong showing out there. He was on the left most of the time. He was in the game. Obviously, he had the assist as well. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. The way he's able to kind of hold up the ball, really be able to be a little bit more, I think, intentional with some of his choices and his ability to be able to cut in. So give that to him, and then I'm with you all. 1 point for Hornsby.
Yeah. All right. So who's leading right now on the top?
I'm on a different computer today, so I'll let you know next week.
There we go. Keep them guessing. So before we wrap up the show, we have another game coming up on Thursday. U.S. Open Cup action. Richmond is in the U.S. Open Cup this year against Cleveland Soccer Club. This is their second ever appearance in the U.S. Open Cup. Last year they played against Ford Madison. Went up there and lost 3-0. So hopefully we can have the same result here. We got an article coming out about them. It should be dropping out. What's today? Sunday? Yeah, it should be dropping out today on Sunday. So if you listen to this podcast, make sure you head on over to River City 93 to check out that article there. But guys, for this game, U.S. Open Cup game, first of all, you think Darren's going to heavily rotate this squad, or do you think it's going to be a pretty consistent starting 11? With no Saturday game. There's no game this week either, so keep that in mind.
I would personally like to see the regular starting 11 just score a couple goals in the first half, gain somewhat of a comfortable lead, and then sub in a couple of the really young guys. Shout out to Gabe Cox, someone like him. Yeah. It'd be fun to see. But I would love to see this new group kind of have an opportunity to gel together against a lower level, kind of team. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a blend. Like I think you'll see some of the veteran guys. Like I would bet almost anything like Chris Cole will probably start in the middle of the defense there and give Dakota or Nathan a night off there. I think you probably almost certainly you're going to see Bentley start up front. I think part of it's also going to depend on who else is healthy, right? Because the equivalent of this game last year is we saw David Olson getting run up front, but he hasn't been making the bench. So I don't know if that's a health issue for him right now, but I think you might get to see like Zhao start in the midfield this time around, and maybe Suko is available on the bench, for instance. I do also game. I like the idea of running the guys out there and letting them hopefully get some confidence by seeing the ball go in the net a few times. Especially Emmy getting him up and going for the year, because I think that can build something. And there's what, a 10-day break after that.
Yeah,
I think
15.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think a
think
nice little break before we played back at home against Noka. So yeah, it was a
right.
good
So
break.
I think the game, if there was a game on the weekend, I think it might be a different story. But I think circumstances are allowing us to be able to maybe go for it a little bit more directly. So I think it'll be a mixed team, but definitely having some guns on the bench, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same thing. Like I think Palmquist will get the starting goal. Back four, you maybe get Chris Cole and
Meacham
what
probably gets to
maybe
start.
Meacham probably. Midfield, it'd probably be Giles, Suko, and probably Dwyer. And then the front
Maybe.
three is you can probably name any of the four forwards and it'd probably be fine. So yeah, I don't see too much really happening. I would like to see Richmond, take it to them. Not sit back. I don't want a repeat of the Fusion game. That's what I don't
No.
want. I don't want a repeat of that where we were like kind of taking our time and whatnot and not really executing. I wanted us to take it to Cleveland. This is a Cleveland team that went 1-0 up against Lionsbridge and kind of I
Held
know they had a
on.
red card and
Yeah,
held
held on
on
with 10
to it.
men. So
Yeah. So we'll see. So also there was Dollar PBR night. Are you guys gonna be there at the game? I'm gonna be there, having fun, enjoying my
of
spring
course.
break.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yay! Maybe we might do a post game pod afterwards. Who knows? And not have a pod on the weekend, so we can enjoy our weekends. Well, me more so.
Do you not enjoy talking to us on the weekends?
I do, but it's also spring break, and I'm looking forward to sleeping in and just getting day drunk.
Well,
There we
some
go.
of us have to work, so
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'll be working.
Any last things from you guys before we wrap up?
I mean, the big takeaway, we said it at the beginning, City Stadium is fun when it's packed.
It
I,
is.
I have no expectations that we're going to get 6,000 people there for an Open Cup game midweek. I'm not a madman, but even if a couple weeks against NoCo, get a 5K out there and really start to build that momentum that hey, Kickers games are the place to be in Richmond on these Saturday nights. Only good things can come of that.
Yeah. No,
I-
you're absolutely right. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have no reason to think that we would get less than 4,000 people at like a NoCo game on April 15th, or especially early in the year when things are exciting, the weather's not crazy hot. I towards the end of the year, it was amazing to see the numbers jump up so high and to see that initial sellout, on the front end here. So I think, I think 4,000 will be the standard throughout the summer. I hope anyway.
So we'll see. Definitely. I want to have big crowds. Have everyone out there, having them enjoy it. And I love a good tailgate. Let's keep the tailgates going because
Dude, that was
I
sweet.
surely missed them. But yeah, from us here at River City 93, we just want to say thank you for taking the time of your day for listening to our podcast. And as always, we will holler at you guys next week. See you later.